I am Grant Gustin, and you're listening to the Flash Podcast.
Well, hello. Oh, someone has it on speaker. Well, hello, buddy, and welcome back to the Flash Podcast, Season 9. And hello, buddy, and welcome back to the Flash Podcast, Season 9. And hello, buddy, and welcome back to the Flash Podcast. Okay, hold on. I'm muting everyone. Hold on.
We're in a time loop.
We're in a time loop.
Okay. Wednesday ever after.
Wednesday ever
Thursday,
after.
actually, ever after now.
Okay, we're gonna try this again. What a concept. We're gonna try this again. Hello, buddy, and welcome back to the Flash Podcast. You're part for all these radio series, The Flash, starring Grant Gustin as Barry Allen, aka The Flash, and we're live on YouTube.com/DC Podcast for the 9th and final season of The Flash. I'm your host, Andy B, as always, and with me is for the entire Flash Podcast crew. We have Tatiana, we have Breeze, and we have Lacy. We have them like now, physical bodies. You can actually see them. They have physical own bodies.
Well, you can see the avatar of my physical body. I didn't know we were all doing camera on tonight, or I would have.
I didn't know that
done
either.
my hair.
I was peer pressure.
So
I'm only doing it for the premiere, so everyone enjoy my face now. You will not see it again until the finale.
Yes. This is also the last one. Craig has still been caught in the time loop. I think that he may be stepping out of it now.
Hold on. Craig, I'm going to unmute you, Craig, and see if this works. But for joining us is our special guest. He's been on the podcast before. This is actually his first live show with us. Since he hasn't done live shows since there was the one charity event. I think it was DCV Classic. Yes, it was you, me, and Keith on DCV Classics. And we all did a Legends Hour together. But we're now joined by the editor-in-chief of Flash TV News, K-Side TV, Krypton Side, Green Arrow TV, and so many amazing websites. Craig Byrne is back in the house, y'all. Craig, how you doing today?
Yes, I'm no longer echoing. Apparently, I had this chat open on Twitter, and it was broadcasting to my Twitter, and that's why we were hearing the echo.
Okay.
It was all my fault. It's kind of like Barry, where Barry messes up the timeline.
Oh my God! So you are the Flash.
Yeah. See?
We are
Well,
the
the good
Flash.
part is there will be no lasting consequences, so it's fine. It'll all turn out okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, the final season premiere. How is everyone feeling today?
I'm feeling at peace with my life choices.
That's good to hear. Good. We're recording later than usual, so I'm tired, but I will try to be re-energized
I believe in you.
to talk about the premiere, the final premiere.
The
of
final
Flash.
premiere.
Well, the final
Cheers.
premiere.
Cheers.
We have 12
Oh,
episodes
that sounds-
left. We have 12 episodes left. I cannot remember. I cannot remember all the past seasons. Were like I was thinking, oh, this show will go on for a long time, and now we're here and realizing that there's no more first season premieres anymore. So, and thank God we were able to, because I swear to God, to the person who owns Twitter, the fact that you did all that shenanigans yesterday, like, it's not okay. You put us through anxiety in terms of can we even live tweet this episode? Can we even tweet out our interview? So, I'm glad. Go on.
Can't we also be grateful that we at least know this is the final season and we're not being anxious, wondering like all the fans of Walker Independence, Superman and Lois, Winchester's, Kung Fu. Next Star, make some decisions already.
Well, you've been watching Kung Fu, and you just talked to Olivia Lang, and I hope. Are you hopeful for season 4, Craig?
I'm hoping for it. I don't know if we're going to get it, but she sounded very hopeful too, which is kind of encouraging.
Hopeful
It's such
is
a
good.
good show, and for people who watch The Flash, if you want something good to watch after The Flash is over, just pop that on sometime. It's a good show. So I'm here to plug Kung Fu, really.
Go for it. And he just interviewed Olivia, so it's on the website now, correct?
Yes.
Aw.
KSITV. Yeah, she's super sweet. The entire cast is so nice.
Yeah, every week I feel there's like new CW drama where like we have to worry, like, is it gonna go from 3 now to 2 shows now? It's like, because the pilot season has begun, they haven't done a single pilot order. There's not even a pilot in development.
I think that's a good sign for the shows that remain, because that means they have a better chance of coming back.
True.
To say, what are the 2 shows? But I forgot that Gotham Knights is a thing that exists in this show. So
It does.
Well, I also
exist.
feel
I
like
see the
James Gunn was
trailer.
like, James Gunn was all, we're gonna have Superman and Lois for a couple more seasons, and I'm like, have you talked to the CW?
I think what he
$5
meant
million
is if they want to keep doing it, they can, but we're not gonna,
Wait a minute. I know how we can figure this out. Toddy, you were now. I don't think screeners could get angry at us for talking about it now. You were there at the
Right.
event in front of James Gunn and Peter Safran.
I was.
What mother effort decided to ask that question? And secondly, what was his like body language like?
I mean, his body language was like, they seem cool. Tyler Hoechlin is very sexy, and I support Bitsy Tulloch as a strong, independent woman.
I don't even know if he knows who Bitsy Tulloch is.
I'm sure he does.
I saw
his
Bitsy
body language
reply to
told
one of
me.
his tweets about keeping the Superman underwear. So I hope he at
See,
least
there you
knows
go.
who Bitsy
He knows.
is.
He saw that tweet in his responses. I would like to shout out the person who called me Bella. Thank you. Potentially your name is Ollie with many numbers after it.
I saw that, and they said as always,
As
Happy
always.
Belly,
As always. And it's so true. It's so true. You've never spoken truer words. Except for when you said I loved the first episode, which is also true. We all did. Wonderful.
Yeah, I'm hopefully, because Superman Lois is a month away from premiering. So is Gotham Knights, which I can't really make fun of Gotham Knights anymore because Craig, we're not allowed to talk about it yet, right?
The review embargo is March 1st, but I think
Okay.
it's safe to say we liked it more than like Twitter liked the trailer.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I think that is safe to
Pretty
say.
well. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think we can say that, right?
Lazy, have you had time to watch it yet?
Oh, Gotham Knights. I was like, the premiere, of course. I watched it twice. I have not watched Gotham Knights yet. And here's why I have not watched it. I like a lot of people who are involved in it, but I also just like cannot get attached to it when I don't have any confidence that the CW is going to do anything with it. Like, I'm
Fair.
fully afraid that it's just like a dead show walking, and I don't need any more heartbreak in my life.
Yes, that's what we have Netflix shows for. So,
Right? That's what we have Netflix for. And
Oh.
HBO Max now. Thanks, guys.
Didn't they take one of your shows last year, Craig? Like,
Which
was it a Heartstopper?
Oh, Heartstopper's still going. That's
Okay,
a great.
never mind. I think with Sandman is coming back
Sandman is
for
coming back.
another part, volume,
Don't
another
call it season 2, Andy.
another graphic novel.
Oh no.
maybe it's what Eric could do after the fight. He can go to
You
Sandman.
can tell them they can level up.
didn't he say he wanted to work on Swamp Thing? Yeah, I
He
feel like in
wants to
some
do Swamp
interview he
Thing.
said that. Yeah.
Oh,
So-
interesting.
Cool.
Well, there is a movie coming out.
I just
Yeah, that's why-
Maybe that was a secret way of saying he's part of it.
Were you
I think that's saying
surprised,
he wants
Sonny?
to be hired. So.
I mean, I personally want Eric on Lanterns. I think he can write Hal because I think he could also make Hal likable. I'm a Jon Stewart fan. To anyone in the chat, so that's who I grew up with. I know Craig is gonna murder me after this, being like, that Kyle is the best Green
No,
Lantern.
Jon
You can
Stewart
like-
is like the Green Lantern that a generation knows as Green Lantern
Yeah.
in Justice League cartoon.
Mhm.
That's like that should have been the default. Like even when they did the Ryan Reynolds movie, it should have been a Jon Stewart movie.
Mhm.
I agree. But we're here to talk about the final season premiere of The Flash. So episode 1. I can't believe we're saying this. Episode 1 of season 9 called Wednesday Ever After. And this was written by story by our good buddy Eric Wallace and teleplayed by Thomas Pound and a new
Aw.
writer to The Flash, but someone returning to the Arrowverse, Sarah Turkoff, who was on Arrow. And it was written by Vanessa Paris? Something like that.
Sorry.
Paris.
No, I don't even.
I know we haven't done this in quite a while, but we're still keeping our normal format with A storylines, B storylines, C storylines, D storylines if there's one. So Toddy,
Uh-oh.
Lacy has given you the gift of
Aw.
opening up the A storyline.
This
Thank
week, the
you.
storyline isn't Cecile.
Yeah, exactly.
I just
So we're already
needed that.
off-
I
we're
really
off to a
just
good
needed the
start.
toddy cap. I needed the toddy cap of the
I
West
didn't
Down of it
prepare.
all.
I didn't prepare. Oh no, disappointment for the final season. No, so in honor of Netflix's best and greatest show, Wednesday, Barry and Iris relive Wednesday over and over again. Oh, thank you for that beautiful kissing sequence. They do actually get a kiss in this episode, unlike the last 2.5 seasons. So that is already a vast improvement. But there's a bit of a snafu because Barry has decided to plan out the entirety of the rest of their lives in a future scrapbook without Iris's knowledge or consent. And she is somehow not enjoying the idea of being moved around like a little doll in a Barbie doll house for Barry's entertainment. So she refuses to say yes to Cat Grant's offer to buy CCC Media in order to become a huge media conglomerate like Hybe that owns BTS and 90% of K-pop now. And instead,
I knew she would find a way to work that in a K-drama reference.
And instead she says no. And somehow this causes the entire world to collapse, according to Barry later on. So meanwhile, Barry does get offered a job as well. And he says yes immediately. Now he's going to be, I think, even though I've watched this episode twice, I can't remember. What is it? The head of the CSI department that does not exist? Is that correct?
I think so.
All right. So he's super excited about doing like double the amount of zero work that he already does.
The American
And-
dream.
I know. I was like,
Exactly.
how do I land these promotions? Like,
That's what
he
I want
goes
to know.
work like once every 2 weeks, and like now they're like, you should run this new department, and I'm like, okay, that tracks.
Yes.
Wasn't he in prison for a while?
What? That's okay.
Yeah,
That was
that
only
is
that was
true.
cachet. That was cachet for his job.
Apparently, that doesn't disqualify you.
No,
from
now
being
he knows how
director.
now he knows how
Forensics.
criminal minds
Or
work. See?
or even get you fired while you're in jail.
Well, he had the best defense attorney, Cecile, who obviously helped fix that, as we saw so clearly. But anyway, so Barry is torn away from his promotion by a wonderful interaction with Boomerang, Captain Boomerang, the new and improved version, now played by the 100's Richard Harmon.
Who's running the slideshows tonight?
I know.
I'm sure it is Andy.
I was like,
It's like
sure
the most
it's Andy.
photos we've ever had.
I know, right?
Yeah.
He
Listen,
I
I've
tell
done
you,
it for 9 years.
Richard Harmon is looking good though.
did
Like,
get a
just
glow up.
being
That is
shallow. He did.
Mhm.
Like
Greg,
not being in a dystopian hellscape works for him.
Greg was giving me crap before we went on. Like, is this your new first? I'm like, no, but he is cute.
true. Well,
No, it's-
Andy does have to have a white boy of the month. And if
Yeah,
this
I
must
mean,
be yours
Andy
this
loves
month.
this guy as much as Wyatt Parks loves Tatiana.
Oh my God. Wow. That is love. That's love.
Yeah.
Mitch.
Are you gonna give it to us, Andy? Come on.
You mean
He
this
beat you
bad
up.
boy?
How you doing,
so-
Tatiana?
I am doing great.
There we go.
Sorry, but like I felt in love seeing those two just hang out and talking and so I'm like did Toddy just find for her?
I too fell in love. So there you go. We were both in love on that day.
I mean, it was the more energy with him than you got from like Dylan Walsh, General Lane.
Oh, were you saying like because I didn't know who that was? I was trying to remember what the energy was. It's like what was
Yeah.
the vibe? But let me do a vibe check retroactively.
Speaking
But-
of vibe check, where is Cisco?
Exactly.
Oh,
Thank
well,
you.
She tried
did
bully
try. I
Eric
did
into saying
try.
something, and he was just like, Can
I think,
confirm,
and I
no
think that
deny.
tells us that, Carlos has not said yes yet. I think we need to give Carlos more money. I think we need to, actually, no, we probably
I
should be
will
giving money to better
cyberbully
causes.
Carlos Valdez if that's what it takes to get him to come back.
For legal disclaimers, YouTube, we
Yeah.
do not condone
Cyberbullying.
Instead,
Thank
we're gonna
you,
bring back
Robert,
Sherlock.
aka Darth Bunyan, the best name. Giving Andy a shout out for the interview. We love to see it. Anyway, I, like Barry and Iris, have lost the plot of the day. Where are we? Right. So, job well done, mission accomplished. They go to bed. Iris is in her bonnet. Everyone loves to see it after 9 seasons. So it's like torn between I love it, but also like, wow, I cannot believe it took a decade to be here. But anyway, they wake up next morning. Iris is still not happy with Barry. Barry is leaving his socks everywhere. Except, guess what? He actually moved them the day before. Why are they still in the same place? Because it's still Wednesday. Oh my God. Mission code cracked, whatever. So Iris goes back to work. She hears the same exact stuff. She says no again. Barry hears about his promotion again, but this time he messes it up because he's like too weirded out and paranoid and excited. And Kramer is immediately like, I don't know. It sounds like you're on crack. So we are going to have to take this job away from you. Goes to fight Captain Boomerang again. Things don't go as well this time around. Captain Boomerang is like going to explode the city or something. I don't know. We end up having to repeat the day over and over again. Chester dies like 60 billion times. Iris gets progressively more displeased with Barry until they have a blow up about, their differing beliefs about the future. Barry storms out of the house and goes to his dad, Joe, who is like, hey, maybe you should give Iris agency. Barry goes back and he's like, I am so sorry, Iris. Your dad told me to let you make your own choices. So he burns the future memory book. And then they decide that they are going to relive the day together as many times as it takes to just solve the problem. Maybe go to the pool. Maybe, I don't remember what else they did. Be really cute. Have a...
Bought bagels for everyone at work.
Yes, there we go. And then they go to their respective jobs together. Iris calls Sue, our favorite off-screen character, who decides to buy CCP Media instead, or CCC Media, and like bring over the Coast City employees to begin Iris's empire her own way. Iris promises Kramer that she will babysit Barry so that he can do his job. Everyone wins. And then Barry phases nuclearly. He phases through a nuclear explosion and no one dies. Great success. And then it's Thursday.
Speaking of our favorite off-screen people, I wish that one of the versions of the day had them personally telling Cat Grant no.
Yeah. That would be so. I would love to. Yeah, it would be so nice to see Cat Grant either make the request or get the rejection because I'd rather it would be fun. But
I just also, where is my girl Sue? I know she's off screen living her life, being like the richest person on earth, apparently, I guess, because she's just like buying all media.
Yeah, but why can't we see it? That's the question.
So they're saving the budget for Baby Jenna.
Wow.
Yeah, child actors are very expensive.
Yeah, the union is But that's hard to go on.
Oh no, I mean that's all I got. So we win, everyone is happy. What is our thoughts on that? Who wants to give thoughts first?
I think Craig should start. He's our guest.
Yeah, he is our guest, our honored guest, our revered guest.
I was
Craig.
very happy to finally see some West Allen, like, just acting like a couple. Like, it seems like the last couple of seasons, it's always been so dramatic. One's been gone, stuck in a mirror, out of town, or whatever. And it's just nice to see the two of them interacting and doing cute things. Like the cannonball thing was adorable. I loved that. I liked seeing the stuff at Central City Media. I don't know how Central City Media fits in the whole Arrowverse still, because wasn't there an episode of Supergirl that said it was like the number 4 media conglomerate already? I think so. I could be wrong.
I do remember what you're talking about. They had like a ranking.
Yes.
And I was like, why is this on the list? Because it's
their one article a day gets 50 million hits, obviously.
Okay, did you notice what's her name? The girl we didn't like but is nice now is like, our ad-free portion.
Aaron?
It's like, so you have a paywall for your one article.
Taylor. Oh, good one. I meant Taylor.
Who is paywalling? Who is paying the paywall for this paper?
Everyone.
Andy.
No, it's like a Patreon. So if you pay, then you're gonna get like behind the scenes footage of West Allen's honeymoon.
Oh,
Everyone's paying for that.
is it censored or not? No, but
That's
I don't.
not
It's not
a
OnlyFans.
Yeah.
OnlyFans.
Well,
What-
I would
do not
also
judge.
say though
I
that
don't.
I liked the conflict between the two of them. That Barry seems so desperate to hold on and keep things as they should be, so he gets his happy ending with Iris. And I like that Iris is like, no, free will. I want to do our own new thing. And I just thought it was really just it was a mature conversation between the two of them. I think Barry was kind of being an idiot a little bit, but that's what he knows because he's lost a lot in his life. And I think, even though it's like, 20 years after his dad and went to jail and his mom died, losing people still hurts 20 years later. And so I think he just didn't want to lose Iris again in many cases. But also I just thought they had fun with this. I liked the new Captain Boomerang. Richard Harmon was excellent on The 100. So it was good to see him. I'm very curious where they're going with him next. I mean, obviously there seems to be some collection of rogues, but we can talk about that later. But yeah, I thought this was a really strong premiere for The Flash, and the whole team did a great job. So more of this, please.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I thought it was such a great showcase of West Allen, something we've just really been waiting for, where it's, there was some conflict, but it wasn't Barry having to rescue her or anything like that. And they got to, once they kind of had their fight, their argument, like they did team up together, even though it's kind of weird to like for Barry to take her into Kramer's office and be like, I want a promotion. But it was like so great to see them team up and have those fun moments. I do think I completely understand.
It kind of have like did you kind of have those like you take your mom to yell at your teacher about your like grade on a test vibes? And I was just like, okay, it's fine.
Yeah, but I do understand Barry's motivations for wanting to control things, but I also feel like he's been through so many of these like time change situations where he should know that you cannot like just micromanage and control things that way. He shouldn't have really needed like a pep talk from Joe to figure that out, but like to like understand where his wife is coming from. Like I know we all love the Joe pep talks, but sometimes I'm just like, Barry, we've been through this. But he gave a big romantic speech to Iris at the end about how it's them together and like they're just gonna like write their story together, and so I forgive him for that. But yeah, I thought it was really fun. I think these kind of time loop stories are not always done well, and I do think the parts where they're kind of like going over and over and like he's with Chester in the lab trying to figure stuff out, that part did drag a little bit. There were some funny moments like Iris drinking wine at breakfast, but it did drag a little bit, but they like cut it off just in time to like have Barry and Iris have their fight and then kind of work together. So overall I thought it was really interesting because I feel like normally the premieres kind of set up the big bads in a bigger way. We don't really get that until the end of the episode, which we'll get to. But I thought it was a really nice showcase of West Allen. So thank you, Eric. I hope all the West Allen fans are happy that we got this.
See, I love a time loop episode. Like always, I love a time loop episode. I think they're really fun. I think they give you like a free pass to do a bunch of stuff that maybe you wanted to do, but like still have takebacks. So it doesn't have to be like permanent. If you want to blow up Chester in a hazmat suit, you can do that because it doesn't count. But like the emotional beats of it still count. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds, in my opinion. I love a time loop. Granted, the best one ever is still the one that Legends did. That was incredible. The one that was all about
Sorry.
Yeah, that one was so good.
That one's really good.
But so that's like I think the peak of the sort of subgenre. But I thought this was a really like nice kind of lighthearted spin on it, because a lot of times it is like that Legends episode where it's like counting down until everyone dies unless you solve the mystery. But this sort of felt like it would just be Wednesday forever until Barry burned the book and everybody would be okay. And I really love too, that it let Grant and Candace be funny. I think because this show gets really down in the weeds of like complicated end of the world, someone's trapped in a portal, there's anthropomorphic force gods, like that it forgets that like this was always supposed to be the lighthearted show that was funny, and it forgets to be funny. But this episode had so much just humor and brightness in it, and I think I had not realized just how much I had missed that until we got an episode that had it again.
It's funny because I remember I was talking. I told this to Craig a couple years ago when it was the season 5 premiere, and here's the thing: I didn't rarely talk about season 5, so this is one of those rare times when you actually had to hear me say something good about season 5. But I remember like the night when it aired, and I went to him and was like, "Man, Craig, this you were right. This felt like season 1 again. Like this felt fun again." And that's what I felt with the season premiere. Like I really, here's the thing. I think Flash can do humor and darker stuff at the same time, but these past 2 years has been a little extra darker than usual. And then I think Eric talked about it. I think either was last summer he said it to us, or it was this interview that we did with him recently. But he said like that the humor of it all is kind of him coming out of this pandemic, because that's we've sadly been stuck in a pandemic for these last couple of years. So but again, I felt like they didn't take themselves too seriously, but it also had like there was actually character progression. Like people were actually developing as characters, and they were actually like I could understand the conflict of it all, especially between Barry and Iris, because we have to remember, even though I don't like I've never understood the Arrowverse's obsession of, well, let's have a new season begin only a week after the season finale, even though it's been 9 months since we watched the last season. Like, I think Super Lows they're doing something similar for season 3, where like it only picks up like a few weeks after the finale. So, but because this was taking place 1 week after the finale for Flash, I can understand why Barry was now getting down on themselves so much, thinking, I need to control our future. I killed my wife. I killed my own wife, who thankfully came back through a magic stone. And so I think this was his way of processing it. But at the same time, I'm also glad that Iris had a voice in this too. Of, you know what, I don't want to have to worry about anything. If I want to just wake up, have a couple bottles of wine or whatever, and not have a hungover the next day, perfect, great. I don't want to have to say yes because a book says so. And I think this was something we were predicting in one of the last episodes for season 8.5, was that, because I remember the trailer came out and everyone was super angry at Barry. They're like, why is he trying to plan their future? So like, I knew this wouldn't last. There's no way this book was going to be something that would be going through a multiple episode arc.
Right.
So I'm very happy that like we actually got somewhere, and they got stronger because of it.
They don't know about the future. It's anybody's guess. It's no good a reason for getting all depressed. Wise man once said that.
Very beautiful.
Tatiana got it.
No, I
too. Reference?
What?
Is
it
that
was the theme song to the TV show Blossom.
Who's Blossom?
Oh.
It was
Buttercup and Bubble's sister.
Do you?
What?
Okay. Anyway.
Who's Wait.
It's like a 90s show.
Yeah, do you know Sheldon's
like
girlfriend / wife, Amy, on Big Bang Theory?
Oh, I love her.
She was Blossom. That was her show.
Oh my
god!
Now I get the joke they made all those seasons ago about Blossom. Good lord.
Now
okay.
you know. Anyway, so
what did you think, Toddy?
I loved it. I mean, like a wise woman once said, it's always great to get a time loop episode, right? I feel like there's, even though it's been done so many times in so many different ways on The Flash, even like and everywhere, but even on The Flash, I thought this was like a fun way to do it that really let us explore where Barry and Iris' relationship is at, where their mindsets are at, how they've been affected by recent events, and also just let us have a couple of fun scenarios, right? and a little bit of extra how many ways can Chester die. So overall I was really glad, especially that we could see where they were both coming from. I think Craig already pointed out, like, yeah, Barry was a little bit dumb to think that, but of course he would, because he really just wants to get the best possible outcome. He's had so many horrible outcomes at this point. Why not try to game the system to get the best one with the person/people that he loves? So, like, I totally get it. But of course, from the first season, even, I would say Iris's problem has been people not letting her have a voice, right? People not letting her make her own decisions, people trying to protect her from her own life and what she wants to do. So, of course, she would be pushing back on that front as well. So I thought that was well done. Even if it's like, I don't know, at some points I was like, this feels like something that could have happened seasons ago, but there was many seasons that we were in, like, stasis. So it's fine for it to happen now, since babies are going to come by the end of the show. So it makes sense for them to kind of, like, grow up right before that.
But it was
My
fun that we all...
Jenna.
Yeah.
My favorite line is when Barry says, I want to meet our kids as babies. And I'm like, that's so weird.
Yeah, it's very specific. I don't want to be dead when they're born, okay? But yeah.
But I remember what was so great, because we have a lot of couples in the Arrowverse, but I think there's just something very special about Grant and Candace's chemistry. Mm-hmm. And I think this episode was a good reminder of what we're losing after the season. Because no offense to Legends or Super Lois or Arrow, maybe a little offense to Arrow because Lacy's here, but Grant and Candace, I feel like the foundation has always been strong from the get-go, because they knew what they were going to start with, they knew where they were going, and they stuck to it. So for me, and the fact that, because the thing is, I was rewatching some season 1 episodes, not only because Eric gave us homework, but also because I wanted to relive them as, like, those baby faces again. Not that Grant has, really aged that much anyway, as someone said in the chat. Yeah. But it was just like, just seeing that magic spark being able to be recaptured 9 years later. That's pretty freaking amazing. Mm-hmm. So, and like, and that's why I love, like, the cannonball sequence. And also Iris had so many amazing outfits. I need Iris or Candace Patton to be my personal stylist, because I mean, come on, I just want an episode where she and Barry are shopping, just to see, like, what is her process of getting all those outfits. Like, is Barry
she and Sue need to go shopping? Just a montage of those two shopping. I would die.
Also, can we talk about how great Candace's hair looked?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. A little bit of red. I mean, at least it wasn't a little bit of blue, because that just looked terrible on anybody. But
Lacy feels attacked.
And in a normal day, Lacy would have a word with you, but I think tonight she will actually be agreeing with you.
I have thoughts.
But we will get to it. But what was everyone's favorite, like, West Allen scene in this episode? Because, like, there's so many good takeaways. Craig, did you have a favorite particular West Allen scene?
Cannonball. Let's go for that.
The cannonball scene was so cute. That's so true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love drunk Iris at breakfast. It's like, I will be having this bottle of wine for breakfast.
But was she drunk? She just she seemed like very much in, like, control and everything.
I mean, she was ready to get drunk, at least.
True. You've talked to people who were drunk with wine before, Andy. Don't lie. Or cough medicine.
Cough medicine.
They don't know, and they don't need to know. But Breeze, what was your favorite West Allen scene?
Yeah, I mean, I liked when they teamed up at the end against Boomerang, and Iris gets to shoot the big gun.
So. Oh, yes, that was great.
And then we get, like, I think the photo we showed earlier. There's another photo they released of them kind of like, or not the kissing one. They're kind of like, yes, that one. Oh. Yeah, that one's so cute. I love that. I would, like, frame that. It's so adorable.
Lacy, what was your favorite West Allen scene?
Drunk breakfast.
Drunk breakfast.
The wine at breakfast. I was like, that is gold. And I'm like, how come I've never seen a show doing a time loop thing where it's like, you know what I'm going to do today on this time loop thing? Just get wrecked. Like, that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to try again tomorrow.
It was very Palm
Yeah.
Springs, which I think someone brought up in the chat, but that movie.
Somebody
with
sent me a
Andy
text
Samberg,
message.
yeah.
Yeah,
One
my
of my
favorite.
friends is watching the episode today. He sent me a text. I think the Flash writers have watched Palm Springs. He also said, "I am a West Allen shipper now."
Yeah. Now?
Aw.
Oh wow.
Now?
I mean, I guess they
We
got
won't
there
question it. We
eventually.
won't
To
question
be
it.
fair, this
Well,
friend has
was-
not seen the Flash since like season 1.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
That's
okay.
acceptable.
Oh, so what,
So
what
they
was
just
it?
didn't
Was
care
that
about them at
Snowberry
all.
shipper?
Oh God, no, he was never a Snowberry. But that's
see,
I
Oh,
mean,
God, don't
sorry,
insult
Lacy.
people just with throwing
Yeah.
accusations like
No,
that. Come on.
Wait. Did you say,
How
I'm sorry,
rude.
Lazy? I'm sorry, Lazy. Is that what you said? I don't think Lazy's a Snowberry shipper, though.
Okay, good.
No, this
Which
is
is
what
really
this is
good.
what
No,
she
I
should
was
say.
Aw.
Savitar and Evil Frost shipper.
There you go. There you go.
I
thought
still wanted
that
her to
was
become
hot.
Firehawk. Or
You want to
whatever it
what?
was. Remember when I said when we were on that I wanted her to be Firehawk? Like the
Oh.
Fire
Yeah,
Queen.
you wanted her and
Female
Ronnie to be
character.
able to merge, and you completely broke Lacy in that
I
theory.
would
And
be.
then the
I
next-
would be into that still.
Yeah. Also, Liv just had a fabulous thought. If we had more time and the writers loved us, I would love an Iris's employees catch Iris with a flash and think they're having an affair storyline.
Yes.
That would have been hilarious.
Oh, that
I
would
mean,
be
I think
adorable.
I think it'd be funny if we were cast in that episode
As the employees.
As the
Yes.
employees. Yeah,
I
like,
agree.
Toddy, you would probably still have the same position as you have on Screen Rant.
You would run the Central City podcast.
Oh, there you
no,
go.
the Citizentopia podcast.
So this is
No,
Uh,
it would totally be like, you know how the New York Times has like that whole series of podcasts that they do? It would be like the CC Media podcast empire.
Mhm.
Like you mean like the wait did you do like dramatizations of podcast?
In real life?
Yeah, you would bring up New York Times.
Oh, well, no, they do. Yeah, they do like investigative podcasts and stuff like that. So that would fit. We could invest.
So like
could
like
investigate
serial.
things.
Like
Yeah,
serial.
they did another really good one called the Improvement Association or something, which is about like these psychotic HOAs. Anyway,
Like Emmanuel Rubin reaching CCPD and everyone is giving very sympathetic looks every time he comes to work.
Oh my God. I want this episode now.
Eric, if you're watching or listening, please.
I don't think he has time for that. He's having enough trouble fitting everything into 13 episodes.
Yeah,
Someone can
see-
write that fanfic though and send it to us. And
Yeah, we can.
read
Yeah,
it.
we'll do. We'll do
So-
a fanfic episode. No one questions why Iris so cuddly with Flash. LMAO.
Good
Well, no,
point. Yeah, good point, fangirl.
But we're gonna move on now to the B.
wait, I'm
storyline.
sorry. I just want to call out the one comment that said the employees would just figure out it's Barry. Everyone else has.
Wait, what?
That's true.
That's so
That's true.
true.
The employees would just know it was very immediately. There would be
I mean,
no
they already know
mystery.
Allegra's a metahuman, so like
Yeah.
2 + 2 equals 4.
Well, so moving to the B storyline, we did talk a little bit about the new Captain Boomerang, played by the one and only Richard Harmon from the 100. But also we got a first introduction to who he's working with, the one, the only, Red Death. Red Death. Oh, when
The
this
last image
logo-
really did look cool as hell. The red, like mutated Batman thing looks so good.
Yeah, so we discovered in an episode that whatever he stole from that little machine thingy, because Anne doesn't know science, biology, or anything like that. He's stealing it for this mysterious speedster, but we don't know why. But all we know is that Red Death is looming now in Central City. Craig, I don't know how familiar you were with Red Death before. You know, if you
Not
ever read like. Okay, so like seeing Red Death here, like, what are your first takes on Red Death?
The only takes I really have had about Red Death is what we've talked about before the season as far as spoilers go. Like, you know, like knowing there is a background to it, but I have not read any of those comics where that character appeared. So I'm kind of
Fair
useless when it comes to comic book knowledge about Red Death.
There
I
is
think
not
you need
that
to write a
much,
Screen Rant
honestly.
article so I can find out what it means. Andy.
We did a podcast about Red Death that you can.
Oh,
listen
then I need to listen to that.
It is
And
also
great
as
Vanessa
someone
Shark came on. So.
as someone who also knows nothing about the comics aspect of Red Death, that episode and Vanessa like blew my mind. I was like, this is weird as hell.
Yeah.
I like
it really
weird.
is.
But what do you think about the new Captain Boomerang? Is he a bigger douche here or on 100, Craig?
His character on the 100 was such a douche when he first showed up. But Richard Harmon's acting was so good, you kind of started to understand why his character, John Murphy, was kind of a douche. And, you got to know him over the years, and he became like an integral part of the series. I mean,
largely still a douche, though.
He still had his
an important
douche.
douche.
Yes.
Is he the Spike of the 100?
No. I don't think there was a Spike in it. If there was, it wasn't him.
Interesting.
But, one of Richard Harmon's first roles was a very small role in an episode of Smallville. So he's been in these parts before.
Mm-hmm. That's it's like full circle.
Yeah, but I like in the comics that there's like a younger Captain Boomerang also. So I feel like it's the coming of that character in a way.
True.
So I'm here for it. Especially because wasn't the other Captain Boomerang turned into Eclipso on Stargirl or something?
Yeah. He blew up on Arrow, like literally blew up in a bomb, and then he went over to Stargirl and played a far better character.
He was good on Arrow and Flash. Wasn't he in the first crossover they ever did?
Oh yeah, he was, but he left no impressions on me because I
it was so long ago.
Yeah, and also a year later, Jai Courtney came on screen and was just like, "I'm Captain Boomerang," and that was funnier. So
don't ever do that voice again, Andy.
I'm so mad James Gunn killed him off. Spoilers.
Maybe that one movie that comes out in June resets all that.
What movie? I'm not gonna see that movie. I don't have any plans to see any films in June.
Well, maybe that movie.
I'm seeing Oppenheimer and Barbie in June, or maybe that's July. I'm not sure, but I will see those over the Flash.
Sorry, Craig. Craig, what were you saying?
No, that movie will reset things so that the Arrowverse Captain Boomerang is still alive somewhere, the original, and he can team up with.
Especially if they're related.
In the additional season that Eric Wallace will write in about 2 or 3 years. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe. I don't know. I've been right on some of my jokes before, so we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great. If you see some of the April Fool's jokes that he's pulled on Krypton's side, and then the following year some of them actually come true, it's a little scary.
I don't think this year's will come true. I've already started thinking about it. So
Lacy, you also a watcher of the 100. How was it seeing Richard Harmon as bad boy Captain Boomerang, a very high tech Captain Boomerang?
It's not like he was a good boy on the 100, but he did have a little bit of a glow up here. I thought he looked good. Does anybody else watch Succession? I got like serious Roman Roy vibes from him, which was
I like that comparison.
Like, I don't know, which is sort of like douchey but broken kind of thing, I think.
Wasn't John Murphy douchey but broken too?
Yeah, but he like killed some people and stuff.
Yeah, he was pretty dark broken. Yeah.
I mean, the Boomerang could have like set off a bomb that would have killed many, many people.
But he was happy about it.
That's because Barry stopped him like 24 times.
When Allegra gave a little profile on him, they said this guy just got beat up a lot in Iron Heights. So I feel like he's not that.
I mean, that kind of tracks. Think about the people that are in Iron Heights. He's very thin and small. Like, he's not going to win a lot of fist fights against those huge dudes.
Yeah. So.
Breeze, also, what were your first takes on Red Death? Lacy?
Like looking at, I think when Andy actually, here's a spoiler alert. Andy had to kind of explain to me why Red Death has lightning, because I apparently didn't understand that Red Death is also a speedster. Made more sense after that. As I said on our episode with Vanessa, like all of this Red Death, dark Batman alternate universe thing seems insane to me. So I am really curious as to how they're gonna make it fit the CW. Like the CW is not gonna do but so much work.
It's going to be a crossover with Gotham Knights. Not really.
Oh, Craig. Well,
I
Bree,
mean,
I'm trying to
it's
make
better
Gotham
chance than
Knights.
all the Legends of Tomorrow showing up in an episode.
They can show up on Gotham Knights.
Oh my god!
in
I want this episode
Someone start
now.
that rumor, please. See who picks it up.
I think I've got another April Fool. I'm going to steal it from you, Breeze.
You're welcome to it.
Breeze, what were your takes on Captain Boomerang and Red Death?
Yeah, so for Captain Boomerang, I thought he was like a fun character. You know, I want to see more since. Also, like, I'm trying to remember exactly what he said to Barry because I was just rewatching it earlier and I'm like, wow, he's kind of rude. He calls Barry like a dumbass or something. So he's definitely like kind of an interesting villain. Like, he's not trying to be like smarmy or clever. He's just kind of like, get out of my way. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of him. I do think. I don't have any like relationships to this actor. I haven't seen him in things, so I do think he like looks cool in the costume. Though, you know, of course, always would prefer an Australian accent. But and for Red Death, you know, I think I'm actually more first of all, seeing it looks really great. I think the photos we shared, if you're watching the live stream, don't even like do it justice. The way the lightning looks with like the bats, it looks so good last night. And I think I'm actually more excited for it, having read some of the interviews Eric did, kind of saying like, we're not doing anything with Dark Knight's metal. Like, this is very much our version of Red Death, because as we kind of referenced, that storyline is really confusing and complex. So I'm glad that they're kind of not even going to try to mess with that, because I think introducing like heavy concepts like the Dark Multiverse would just weigh the show down. So I'm really curious to see what backstory they do give this Red Death. I have some theories, but it'll be really interesting to see what they do with that. So I'm, you know, more excited for it. Don't really understand why Captain Boomerang is working for them, but I guess we will find out.
Toddy, what are your feels about Captain Boomerang and Red Death?
Oh, well, you know, having a great time with Captain Boomerang. I think I was just like, okay, sure, whatever, the first time around, because I was wanting to get to the good stuff. But when I rewatched it, I was like, oh, what a fun character. I am looking forward to more with him. And also, I did not even realize it was Richard Harmon the first time around. But once I did, he grew more charming. So good job, Richard Harmon.
Did you watch 100?
No. Well, yes, but no. I watched like 4 episodes. And then his name was? A character died who should not have died. I can't remember his name, actually. It's been so long.
Lexa?
No.
No. It was her best friend.
Son, Jaha's son.
Wells. Yes, it was Wells.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was now it's going to be a tangent. I have to say it every single time. So in the books, he's like one of the main characters, and it's a love triangle with like him and Clark, and I think Bellamy. Thank you. I was like, what are these men's names? I don't know. So anyway, then they kill him off in 4 episodes, and I was like, well, I don't like where that's going, and then I never watched the 100 again.
I didn't even know it was based on books.
I didn't know there were books.
I know. I'm sure 12 people read them, but there was
You were
no.
one of those
Everything that I
12.
can tell, the books were quite different.
Yes. Many things changed. Anyway. What? So no. So I only saw his super douche era. I did not see any of the growth era, but I did hear the people speaking of how awesome he was later on, and I was like, I mean, if you say so. But now he has proven it to me in this 1 episode. Anyway, Red Death, even more excited. Although when you show that still image of like, it looks like a literal flying black bat, not the bat symbol, that thing. Yes, it looks like there is like a lightning bat about to attack me. So that's wonderful. But anyway, very excited to see how they incorporate that and what this version of Batwoman has against Barry. Craig?
No, I just noticed the poster for season 9 behind all of us. Kind of looks like it has some of that Red Death energy at the bottom.
Oh, yeah. I do see that.
I don't know if that's intentional or not. Like, maybe Red Death is chasing him.
It could.
It just reminds me how similar so many of these posters are.
Well,
you can only do so much with lightning.
I know.
Lacy, don't be a hater. It's a final season premiere. If you're gonna be a hater, put on the camera at least and do it.
Wow.
Do it face to face. No, I love the new Captain Boomerang. I was always hoping they would give us Owen because Arrow ruined Digger Harkness for me. So I'm happy, I'm happy he came. And I never watched the 100, but like when I heard it was Richard Harman, and I was like, "Hey, Craig, have you seen this person before?" He's like, "Yeah, he's great." Because I'm like, I know that if there's any actor from other CW shows, I always go to Craig first, and I'm like, "Hey, have you seen the show? Oh, you probably have. How's this actor?" Now we just need to get Liz Gillies, and Craig has Liz Gillies from Dynasty.
Can Liz Gillies just take over as Amunet or something? Because that would be amazing. Because the current
Katie Sackhoff, Liz Gillies.
I want Liz Gillies to do an awful British accent.
Oh well, I love Captain Boomerang. I'm still hoping that they're gonna reveal that he's maybe related to that he is Digger's son, like in the comics, and then maybe one reason that he's coming to Central City is because he's like, I need to honor my father's legacy with boomerangs.
Didn't Owen Mercer in the comics kill Tim Drake's father?
He probably did, but Titus is getting canceled anyway, so you got your wish.
That's for small favors.
I mean,
but
anyway,
I loved him as Captain Harmon, not Captain Harmon, Captain Boomerang.
Captain Harmon. That's what you call him. Never mind.
Oh.
Craig, behave. But yeah, the Red Death, because the thing was, I wasn't sure because they kept, when we get screeners, they will say something at the bottom. This is not the finish of facts, whatever, so on. But when we saw Red Death, I was like, holy Christ, this looks pretty sick. Because like Lacy makes a good point. There's only so much you can do with lightning. But this looks really cool because in the comics, Red Death has a very distinct look, and then the episode ended with a logo, and that was something that was specifically written in all caps in the email. Do not reveal the Red Lightning Bat logo. So it was
that's the entire visual effects budget for season 9 right there.
Well, I can believe it under David Zaslav's Warner Brothers era. But and Eric was gonna be like, but David, we have 12 more episodes. He's like, tax write-downs.
Oh, don't even start, Andy. That would make me so mad.
But we've been seeing a lot of red tonight. It's time to get a little blue. Lacy.
Wow, what a segue! I get to talk about my girl who is not my girl. So, as many remember, Caitlin had a little mad scientist breakdown last season and built a fairly sophisticated cryo chamber in her living room because why not? And locked herself in it in the hopes of somehow resurrecting her dead sister, who is also part of her DNA. I don't know. We're all just rolling with it because nothing about Frost has ever made sense. Caitlin is grieving, doing crazy things. The season finale last year ended with Chilblain, who was even in this episode. No,
yeah.
No.
Nope, he was not.
He wasn't.
He was in the preview.
Who are you? Time. He's like the "Who are you?" was like at the end of last season.
He went to go get her coffee after that.
I guess he just peaced out.
Never came back.
He never came back. Exactly.
Maybe she just murdered him. I don't know. And the streaks in her hair are his ice powers or something. Who knows? Who knows where he is? But Caitlin, or someone looking like Caitlin, has come out of the cryo chamber now, but it's very clearly not Caitlin, which you can tell because now she has 1990 style raver streaks in her hair that are bright blue. And
that was oddly specific, Lacy. What is there something you would like to share with the class?
Graves, okay. It is just very although now I think you can buy them as clip in color extensions. You don't have to manage.
Yeah, those look like Party City clip-ins.
Yeah, they're not great. But it's got to be better than the Frost wig. So I give Danielle a break. But the episode ends with Barry has arrived at Caitlin's mad scientist lair because I guess despite Chilblain being gone and this person being a total stranger to this house and all of Caitlin's stuff, knows how to summon the Flash with Caitlin's distress call because the Barry shows up and whoever this is says that they are not Caitlin, they are not Frost, they are someone new, and we have no idea who that is. And I don't know how to feel about. I don't know how to feel.
It's giving to Y2K 13-year-old LMAO. Just live in the chat.
Yep.
Wow.
That's okay,
I mean,
though, because that's back in style.
Behind the Gap says something must be wrong. Caitlin's highlight looks terrible. Barry.
I just like the fact that there's weird braids in the top too. I could see like if the magic of the cryo chamber had like rogue style streaked her hair or something. How did she just braid it while she was waiting for Barry?
She just looks
Like-
very kind of like alien-like.
Craig.
Craig. Like a blue cord.
For our audio listeners, Craig, I don't know what Craig just found. He found like a blue cord or something, and he decided to pull
He went to the cryo chamber.
Yeah,
He
I
ran
know.
to the cryo chamber while I was talking.
Where'd you find that? What were you even wearing?
This cord was like right behind me. I was looking for something blue, and I was like,
Do I have something blue?
I don't know. I don't know what to think about any of this. So, Craig, you can start and tell us what you think of this. Who is this person? What is happening? Why can't Caitlin ever have her own story without any of this weird crap?
My first thought is maybe this new personality or whatever it is another one of the versions of Killer Frost from the comics. There's a character named Crystal Frost who was the original Killer Frost. And then there was a Louise Lincoln that somebody on Twitter pointed out was referenced in an episode in like season 3. But then again, I mean, season 1 of The Flash also noted that Ralph Dibny was dead. So, you know, things can change.
Exactly.
No,
But,
whenever the Flash thinks up, the Flash reacts to realizing that they retcon their own Ralph Dibny.
Beyonce.
Yeah, I think it's possible we might see another one of those versions because I think Caitlin Snow was not the alter ego name of Killer Frost until after the Flash show premiered. I could be wrong on that.
I believe.
Caitlin Snow debuted in the comics like a year before the show.
Right,
Oh,
but like clearly when the show was in the works.
Yeah. So I don't know about that.
Well,
for
I
sure.
know our buddy Certain Gates. He's the one who created Caitlin.
Mhm.
Let me see. We have Wikipedia. Yeah.
We have Wikipedia, okay.
we have Wikipedia. Well, I mean, there
We're
are
gonna solve
sources.
this mystery.
Louise Lincoln?
Yes,
Crystal
there's
Frost, Louise Lincoln, and Caitlin Snow
Mhm.
are the Killer Frost.
Okay, so Louise was mentioned in season 5 as a scientist that Thomas Snow worked with.
Yeah,
But
and time has changed. since season 5.
Well, not just time. The universe has literally changed.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Damn it, Barry.
Oh, Barry, what have you done now? That was so funny. Barry, did you time travel us? Sorry, go on, Craig.
No, so I mean, maybe that's where they're going, or maybe they're going to surprise us. But I think might have been Tatiana. One of you said something about wishing we had just Caitlin being Caitlin with a straightforward story, and I think that's one thing that the show has kind of done a disservice in a way.
That was me. That's always me. That is my mantra, my battle cry.
It's like we didn't even really get her Killer Frost origin because it came after Flashpoint, and I feel like we're kind of cheated out of that story.
Yeah.
And that would have been interesting because, Caitlin needs a story because she's never going to be with Barry. Sorry, Snowberry people. I'm shots fired. Uh-oh, there's a sniper
Shots
outside my
fired.
window. But no, I just think, I wish that story had been more coherent. And if we're seeing her as a different character this final season, are we really going to get closure on the Caitlin character the same way we are with Barry or Iris or Joe or Cecile or Telegra? Any of them. And hopefully Cisco.
Mind the Gap says Caitlin was created for Forever Evil. So
There we
that
go.
was 2013. So there you go. So she was definitely a Killer Frost of some kind.
Sexy.
Thank you, Mind the Gap.
Yes. And also Louise Lincoln
Liz
is the one
commented.
most used.
Liv's comment in the chat is so spot on about I just don't get what that would mean for Caitlyn though, because how is the show supposed to say bye to her in the final season if she's not technically her? This is my question. This is what makes me anxious. It's what keeps me up at night. Like, I don't have time for like a whole nother like person inside Caitlyn who is not Caitlyn. Like, we have limited episodes here.
Yeah, and I'm gonna quote Lacy's interview in Den of Geek because it made me very nervous. Eric said, "Yes, you will get an ending to the Caitlyn storyline through this new character. It just might not be the way you think it will happen, because and you might not see it coming in the way that's going to happen because it's going to take all season. It will not culminate until we finally confront our final big bad."
That
doesn't sound great for Caitlyn. Yeah, like, you know,
I don't like that.
Final episode just has Caitlyn, Cisco, Joe, everybody we've left behind showing up to kick the bad guy's butt.
I thought you were gonna say in a support group.
Also, that then they go to
like an AA group, but like for people who are outside.
Joe just
I imagine Caitlyn, like, you know, I mean, Lacy like being a. See, I call her Caitlyn again. I imagine Lacy being, you know, she said like, "This keeps me up at night. It keeps me up at night." I'm gonna go turn to Greg and be like, "Greg, what is gonna happen to Caitlyn?" And he's gonna turn and be like, "I don't even know who Caitlyn is, sweetheart, but I'm sure she'll be fine."
I mean, that's not that far off, but
has he ever watched
I don't know. Not really. It's not his lane.
What?
I know. He watches a lot of procedurals. He loves a cop show.
Well, I mean, Barry's a cop when he shows up.
Is he?
Is he right? Is he?
I mean, CSI is a cop of a kind.
Sure, but is he really a CSI? That is the question.
Have we seen him do CSI work since like season 2?
Didn't he do some last season? We were all like, Barry's going to work.
Sometimes it happens.
There was an interlude episode where he was locked up at work with Kramer.
Does Star Labs have an unlimited amount of money that they can afford the rent on that place?
Yes.
It's just Sue. It's Sue. Sue is out here with her billions.
Their new sugar mama.
Can she like fix the building at least then, so there's a big hole in it?
Erica's finds it fun.
Erica's promised that they're going to fix the roof before the series finale.
Yeah, it's going to be a flash forward to like the year 2049, and then it's going to finally be fixed.
But does that mean we have to look at the old Barry and Iris then, or like?
Well, yes, because they're going to be alive and they're going to be happy, and if they're not, Eric, we're coming for you.
He did say we were going to cry tears of joy. So you know.
And some people were so angry at us on Twitter because they're like
tears of joy.
No, because there's morons out there that wants to see Barry die and to see Barry die and become the lightning bolt strikes. Like,
we've already seen the best Flash die in Crisis.
Oh, girls, I cannot believe it.
I'm sorry, Daddy Flash. Overall,
no. It's not about you, Libby.
Thawne left it to.
Hi, and yes, Thawne did leave Barry the building.
Yeah, but he still has to pay the monthly.
Yeah, but he had lots of money, so they are using Thawne's just vast wealth, though it may have run out. I don't know how wealthy Thawne was.
We call it Harrison wealth.
That's true.
Well, remember they tried to make it. When was it? They tried to make it into a museum because they did try to like.
Visa free.
Yeah. So maybe they made some money from that. I don't know.
So good to see you, Libby.
That museum. I don't know.
I don't think anyone did actually.
Guys, forget about the museum. Libby is here. Libby is here.
I know. We're very happy.
Yeah.
Under a crazy,
we're very excited.
With a crazy, I think she's in Australia or something. So she's in a different crazy time zone. So
thank you for coming to see us.
Yes, thank you.
And don't worry, Libby, we got your email, so we will read it. We will read it. My thoughts on the. I need to throw up the image again. I'm sorry. When I saw this, I did burst off laughing, because I did prefer the Killer Frost wigs. I actually did. That they seemed more. I can see Craig putting it on again. He's Crystal Bird now, but yeah, I just remember, like, initially just gagging. I'm like, what am I looking at? But I can't judge a story that's I'm only seeing like 10 seconds of. There you go. There's Crystal Byrne.
He is for Caitlyn. It's good enough for me.
Oh my god! Don't compare to the Cookie Monster, Greg. But yeah, I am a little worried, and I almost wonder if this story that they developed was under the notion they thought, oh, we will have a 10th season.
Yeah, good question.
Yeah, so I can't fault writers too much because because again, even though we didn't get a clear answer on why this is the final season, I do believe the next star of it all plays a major factor. And I think this storyline was something they were imagining if there was a 10th season, so we could, get our Caitlyn back. I'm sure it'll be fine, Lacy. I'm sure it's gonna be fine. Again, I know because she's the most worried one. Because in the Google, Lacy, may I read how you wrote the 8th storyline for this week?
Of course.
A storyline, Tatiana, Bear and Iris do Groundhog Day. B story, Annie, graphic novel, one villains, Captain Boomerang and Red Death. C story, Lacy, WTF have they done to Caitlyn now?
Well, here's a thought. I mean, not just the next star of it all ending the show, but it sounded like from a few of the interviews that Eric was at least expecting to get like another 6 or 7 episodes on top of the 13. So maybe like the Caitlyn would have been resolved by like 13, and then we would have had real Caitlyn back.
Right. Well, also, if Grant was only contracted for a certain amount, they would have had plenty of airtime to like focus on other characters.
Oh, that would be
they gotten a full
episodes.
LOL. But also, like in interviews that Eric did at the end of last season, he talked about how like they didn't find out until they were getting renewed until pretty late into, I guess, breaking the finale of last season.
So
And
I
I
think
just look at this,
yeah.
and I look at this and I'm just like, WTF are you going to do with Caitlyn in the cryo chamber if that was the end?
Never leaves. Just always.
She just lives there now.
She lives forever. Until they reboot the Flash in 20 years.
I don't know. I have concerns.
So I just had a really bad thought. What are we going to get first? Funko Pop of Danielle Panabaker's new character or an Iris Funko?
Funko Pop of Danielle Panabaker's new character, obviously.
Well, what's hilarious is there's like no Caitlyn Funko either. It's just I have 2 different Frost Funkos and no Caitlyn Funko either.
Yeah,
so.
But Lazy, you have 2 Killer Frost Funkos. Iris doesn't even have one.
I know, it's so
We could have done
dumb.
Iris in the costume from that episode where she got powers.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
Clearly only care
It would have
about
been
costumes.
awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. What's up with this.
Oh my god. Yeah,
But now we have an Iris one from the Flash movie, so we can just pretend.
I'm refusing to buy it. I told Craig this as well. I'm not buying it.
I'm not acknowledging that movie.
Yeah. This reminds me of the time that I saw Black Canary Funko, and I was like, "Oh, cool!" And I bought it, and it was Sarah, and I was like,
Black Canary.
Exactly. I was like, wait a second.
I got roasted on Twitter when I called it a Black Canary Funko, and the Olisky people were all like, "That's not Black Canary." And
I was like, "Well, it says Black Canary." That's
no,
why I
they're
bought
like,
it.
"You're
There's a comic one. I don't have it.
Anyway, I was like, "Okay, well, thanks a lot."
Oh no! Could you imagine if they did this?
Oh my god!
Oh,
that was
like when they split
no.
Regina and the Evil Queen of Once Upon a Time.
That's a show that went down in quality rapidly.
Oh yeah.
But at least they got their like sort of sequel season. We're not getting our sequel season with like Excess and Impulse or something.
yeah, but hopefully we will get them, and we know we're getting Excess.
Toddy. You know what you could have done while you would have James Gunn in front of you. You could have asked him, "Hey, do you know the glory that is Jessica Parker Kennedy and Jordan Fisher, and do you have room for them on HBO Max?"
Well, I did not think of that. I guess that would have been a really great use.
Tatiana.
Here you go. This is
so.
Hey, Shotgun, I hope you're doing well. It's my co-host from Endless Multiverse. I'm waiting for Blue Death. You know what, Lacy? We're gonna call the new Caitlyn Blue Death.
Blue Death. Okay.
So you have Red Death
Cool.
and wait, hold on. Let me. I will demonstrate. Red Death, Blue Death, Red Death, Blue Death.
I feel like she's not serving Blue Death vibes. Like
No.
she's just like seems
No,
like
it's
I don't
very
know.
like I'm at this rave and it's suspect.
Yeah,
it's-
or she's
and
just
it's
maybe she's like at a
2001.
retreat. You know, exactly. She seems like she's one of those like hippie, I don't know, hosts of a retreat. And she's like, let's
He's
we're
like
gonna
early
meditate.
Topanga on Boy
Yeah,
Meets World.
yeah, exactly. We're gonna feel real zen. We're just gonna,
I love Topanga in the earlier seasons.
we're gonna take some psychotropic drugs and we're
She
gonna
can
think
be
about
Zen
life.
Frost instead
Exactly,
of Killer Frost.
exactly.
Dead Frost. Okay, until we find out her real name, or until when they say it publicly,
Calling her Zen Frost.
Zen Frost,
Crystal Frost.
chainsaw, and when Oliver shows up, we get Green Death. I mean, he is dead.
He's
dead.
Green Dead, not Green Death.
Who hasn't talked about the Frost storyline yet?
And then when Felicity shows up, it's Haven Rock Death. Oh. Sorry.
Lacy's the one who's gonna be mad, not me.
Well, she can't put on her camera to attack me. So.
Wow.
Lacey knows I think she's awesome. I
Yeah,
never
he
seen that.
said in front of
Yeah,
my face.
you come at me with this slander.
You come into her house with this slander.
into her new house. Craig, she has moved to a beautiful new house. A lot of Doctor Who blue colors in that house.
Well, I have a lot of Doctor Who blue in my house too, so we both have good taste. And she has very good taste, except for liking Felicity. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Okay,
Moving
I'm
on.
making
Does
awkward.
anyone else have any Caitlin thoughts before we get to
I'm
the
sorry,
rest
but
of
this
episode?
Oh, damn.
Felicity killing a whole town should have went away. Lazy. I'm sorry, but she should have. Oh no! Now Breeze is gone. Felicity should have gotten some punishment. But either way, any final thoughts before we go to the D storyline?
I don't even know if technically this is the D storyline that I picked, but I'm like, some other stuff happened, and I guess we should talk about it.
I'm just gonna throw this stuff out here, and then if people have comments, they can share them. So we have kind of like 2D storylines. One is really just like a D moment, not even a story. But when they all think they're gonna die, before Barry dissipates the nuclear maybe it's after he dissipates the nuclear radiation, which I forgot to say earlier. But how the hell do you dissipate nuclear radiation? That makes no sense.
How does someone
with love? Obviously, Barry does
run?
all things.
But we see it like covering the people, which means they should have died, and then it like
their flesh literally should have like melted off their body.
Hold on. Wasn't it when he was vibrating? Was he making sure that everyone in Central City was phasing too?
Is that what was going on? That was not clear to me.
Or maybe it was
That's really powerful for him.
Anyway,
This was everyone's thoughts.
What the fuck is going on in here on this day?
You with your 4 seconds of silence always.
Yes. Well, we were all silent after Chilegra kissed. Eric did not make us wait long. They kissed in the premiere. So
Nobody moved.
A thing that happened, and then they are just awkward about it and don't tell anyone. So can't wait to see where this goes. And then the other storyline is with our fan favorite, Cecile, who is learning to control her telekinetic powers that she leveled up last year.
Oh no!
And they're all like, "You're gonna be like the muscle of the team. You're gonna be so great, Cecile." And Joe's like, And Cecile's like, "What's going on, babe?" And he's like, "Actually, I think we should probably move because Central City is a death trap."
He's like, "I got a job on a real network."
Which we all know Jesse L. Martin is sadly leaving the show. So we do know that they're going to have to write him out somehow, which Eric has confirmed he's not dying. So we don't have to worry about that.
No.
Well, we don't have to see Baby Jen at a funeral.
Would she even be there?
Right.
What did Eric confirm to us last Wednesday?
That Joe's not dying? And
No,
that he is not cheating on Cecile with Kramer, as I suggested helpfully, could be a story avenue. And he said, no, this is a family show, so there will not be adultery. So there you go. Sad for all those.
I got a few tweets saying that Baby Jenna's with Grandma Esther right now.
Is Grandma Esther not dead? I got the impression she was long gone.
After that podcast that Candace was on, we're never gonna do Grandma Esther again for a good reason, because that was done under the
Okay.
administration.
Maybe she's
We
with
have better
Joni.
food now.
Maybe
It's okay.
she's with Big Sis Joni, who was also
Oh,
retconned
Also,
on the
flew
show.
off
I
on
forgot
train.
that. I
Yeah.
keep forgetting that she exists.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so does her mother, so it's fine.
Yeah, Fangirl 2019 has a good point. Joe leaving and still saying makes no sense.
Yeah, I agree. But we also know they have him for like they have him for like 5 episodes.
Yeah.
So my guess is it's going to be like sprinkled throughout. I highly doubt that they're going to have him just be in
Well,
5
thanks to
episodes and be
Flash,
like, goodbye.
thanks to Flash TV
Oh.
News, we have some news on that today. Flash TV News posted tonight, not 2 minutes ago. I don't know why it says that. He posted this number for episode 4, and in the description it says that Cecile Martin is in the episode.
Yeah. He and Cecile discussed something.
Can
Not
we
discussing.
bring up Liv's comment? At least Joe and Cecile can move at their leisure since Jenna is racing herself at boarding school.
Oh damn.
She's gonna like come back to that house and be like, "Where are my mom and dad?" And they'll be like in another city.
And then
Or
Joni will
lab.
show up and be like, "Yeah, I don't know where they went either."
Although I gotta tell you, 9 seasons into this, and Joe is just now realizing that Central City is a death trap. Come on, sir.
Well, I think now that he's unemployed, he has more time to think about these things. I don't know.
He has more time to think.
But yeah, does anyone have any thoughts about Chilegra, or I don't even know if Joe and Cecile have a ship named Jocille. I don't know.
Jocille.
know.
Breeze,
When did they
Riley,
get
have you
married?
not been listening? They never got married.
Joe and Cecile, when do they need to get married by the
Yeah,
Yeah,
end?
I was
I
going to say
had-
Joe's telling Cecile he wants a divorce, and then Cecile writes him, "We're actually not married yet."
That
And
would be so good.
I had to correct Eric and be like, Eric, they're not even married yet.
Oh, he didn't even remember that?
Maybe they have a common
Well,
law marriage at this
At this
point.
point, I'm stoked for Chilegra though. I'm like, shoot your shot, y'all. Go for it.
They're cute. I think they're cute. I mean, not
I
as
do
cute as.
too.
I mean, I will say this. If this was, hold on, where's the image? If this is Chanel, then this would be probably like a Sephora.
Sephora. What kind of a comparison is this?
Comparison doesn't really
Chanel
make
and
sense.
Sephora?
Chanel. I'm sorry, Chanel is
Andy just named the first brand he could think of.
no. So because what I
It would be
You
like
listen- you
Chanel
listen-
and
you
Michael
listen to me right
Kors,
now.
not like
I think Levy is right, by the way, that Andrew Dice, may he rest at Screen Rant, coined the ship Cecile.
Who was it? I don't remember. What was the ship name?
Jocille.
Oh,
Jocille.
Jocille. Oh,
Toddy,
yeah.
you were,
I feel like
was-
we don't talk about them as a couple ever since Cecile's always on her own.
Since
so I've
their
just
biggest
forgotten.
ship,
Yeah.
the shipper, Andrew, departed. Yes.
Yeah, Toddy, you scared the frag out of me. I thought when you said "may he rest," and I thought like, wait, did something happen today? Did I
Yes,
miss it?
I would say that hours after. Yes, of course.
Because I was literally talking to him yesterday on Discord. So yeah, Michael, I miss Andrew too. He's superior Andrew. Even though my full name isn't even Andrew, it's Andy. But you know, some people have
But yes.
people believe that my full name is Andrew. But I'm like, no, I legally changed it to Andy from something way more Persian.
His full name is actually Andykins.
Oh, that's what
It's
Veronica
true.
would call him.
I didn't have to wait till my freaking birthday for her to say, because she only calls me Anakin on my birthday for some reason.
This man sees all the patterns I didn't even know I had.
Or
Yeah.
maybe it actually is October. We've just been repeating the same day for like.
Groundhog Day.
So true. So true.
Ooh, okay, that would I can't say it on there. That would be that's too much shade. I will tell you all off air. Oh my god, Michael, that's amazing. I actually binged the entire podcast over the. You binged 8 seasons of a podcast on 4 months.
I hope you were listening on like
that
the
is a
2
lot of
times
episodes.
speed.
Yeah, I'm so sorry that you had to listen to my annoying voice for 4 months nonstop for 8 seasons. But that's amazing. And he said Andrew was a good one. Yeah, Andrew is I was my favorite bro on this podcast. I miss him.
Hey.
My like as in like my co-male host, because I will say this the Flash podcast has been very, very progressive over the years with a lot of women on the podcast. So Craig, this is a rare night for me, like where I'm actually joined by another male on there. Now, if Mike Cuscini want to get his ass up and join us at some point, that would be great. Love you, Mike. Hope you're doing well.
I think you need to get your friend Rob on here. Where's Rob? Nope.
First of all, I don't think the girls are ready for Rob.
Oh my.
I
That
mean,
sounds
I don't mean
very concerning. I don't know.
yeah, Rob. He's one of those white friends that doesn't always have a filter.
You say one of those white friends?
That's very
Yeah.
reverse.
Yeah,
racist of you, man.
listen. He is very Rob. Don't
I
come.
didn't know they had those type of white friends.
Mhm.
Where you
where I
In
live.
Sweden?
No,
Oh my god.
Yeah, I didn't
no.
know
Oh
you were
no.
there.
Wherever I
Wait,
live on the
Sweden? What?
no, wherever I live on the East Coast, yeah, I live in a very privileged. I miss Toddy Caps. Michael says
You just got one.
That was
Go
a very that was a
I will say this when it
one.
comes to Joe's
We
Cecile,
got off track.
here's the thing. I think it's a little funny that Joe's on reuniting this now, but what I will say is that I think that this has always been the move for Joe. I feel like at some point, like as Barry really grows up, Joe will be leaving Central City behind, and ideally he would be doing with Cecile because that's the love of his life. So, but I do agree that it's going to be weird because he's going to be in and out of episodes. So where is he going to be? Like, is he going to be like, I'm just like, honey, I'm going to be going to all these cities and see which one is good for us.
He's going to be in Coast City where Iris has a new paper to run, and he's going to help out at the building to set up that office. I'm not joking.
I'm sorry, Libby, but that's a Flash Pocket exclusive. We will for legal reason we will not let Toddy Caps on Ladies with Gumption. We love Ladies with Gumption, but we will not do.
I will just call them
trademarked by Andy for the Flash
Only for the
Podcast.
Flash podcast. On Ladies with Gumption, I don't even know what I do. I just give
Thoughts.
Exactly. Tati thoughts.
Yeah, you can have Toddy thoughts on Ladies with Gumption and Toddy Cats on the Flash Podcast. Shalegra, I think they're cute. I think it's time that we're actually getting there. That's the point I was making before we went from Chanel to Sephora. But yeah, they need to explain what Joe is going to be up to, like, because you can't just give us him saying that, and then it's gonna be he's gonna be an off-screenville every episode or two, like doing what? Like, is he traveling to cities to see where they should move, or like? That's the thing. This is what I never liked. That was one of the few things I didn't like in season 7, that he retired. But yet he's still been like investigating and helping Kramer and stuff like that. It's like that was, I'm like, what was the point?
I agree with Liv. Let Joe be a retired jazz singer.
Yes.
Like Earth 2.
I can't wait we do commentaries again. We can go back and do the Earth 2 episodes. Those are so much fun.
Yeah.
I agree.
Craig, you need to join us for one of those commentaries at some point. Like, whatever your favorite episode is, come on and do it with us.
Very fun.
Yes, we can do the one with Earth 90 Flash if you want to.
The best Flash.
Oh, we love Jones the ship. There you go. Ollie's sharing in the chat. Toddy Caps.
Thank you all, my adoring fans. I appreciate the love.
We have a lot of people tuning in today, so thank you so much for our first live show of the year. But any final thoughts on Wednesday Ever After, Craig?
Well, I was just going to ask you really quick. Have you ever done a Flash podcast episode about Flash 1990? The show.
I'm waiting to do it with the girls because I think none of them have seen the original pilot.
True.
Oh,
I have never
you'll like
seen
that.
Flash.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think they would like it actually. Iris is in 2 minutes and then she leaves.
But she's
Forever?
played by noted show killer Paula Marshall, so it's probably a good thing that she went away.
But also Tina McGee is amazing. Like,
That's right. We'd see her original appearance. That's fun.
yeah.
Remember when it looked like they were going to get it on, and then like 2 seconds later, he died?
Yeah. But at least they gave us that scene of the two of them together.
Yes,
Really
at least they did
and
that.
I love in Crisis when they had a flashback to that show. Even though the clips are kind of taken a little out of context, and that's not exactly how that played out, but whatever.
Well, I'm just glad that CBS let them use the footage.
Well, it's Warner Brothers owns it.
But it's CBS property.
No, it's all Warner Brothers now. They just licensed it to CBS at the time.
Right.
Yeah, it's like when a show is on Netflix, they license it to Netflix. But it's like when Lucifer showed up in Crisis, they did have to get Netflix permission because Netflix had the rights to new Lucifer content. So that's
Craig
yes, I had that video as well. They also did the Flash 2, like the Trial of the Trickster, or something like that as a video.
They did them as movies?
Yeah, they released the pilot as a movie, and then they released the 2 Trickster episodes as a movie.
Okay.
Like later. Like video cassette that you could buy. I don't know if you're old enough to remember video cassette, Andy, but
while Lacy gets her thoughts, I'll be right back.
Oh, he's gonna hurt me, isn't he? Oh, he's gonna get
go dig out.
Oh, he's like gonna climb like through the screen to your house.
He's gonna.
What am I giving my thoughts on? I'm giving my thoughts on what I thought.
Yeah.
I think Chalegra is adorable, and I'm into it. And I think.
I got her cassette tapes.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I'm a kid. I got cassette tapes.
It's getting weird on here, y'all.
Negative 4 episodes.
Very unhinged vibes.
Did you want the movie? Like, yeah, I got recorded tapes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you still have a VCR though?
Good question.
You can't even buy them anymore. My mom legit hoards VCRs, and so I've not only given her all of the VCRs I had, but also all of the VCRs that my friends had. So if anybody has a VCR they don't want, Lacy's mom will take it.
Hilarity.
That's like when I got my new car, I made a point of getting CDs out of my old car, and then I realized my new car does not have a CD player. Go figure. But no,
they are changing.
Yeah, right before you left, Andy, you asked overall thoughts is what we're going to be talking about, right?
Yeah.
So my overall thoughts, this was a good start to the season. I hope they keep up this momentum for all 13 weeks, that they don't go on these random Cecile detours for 5 episodes in a row. But I thought this was fun. I'm very excited to see some rogues. I'm very excited to see what Red Death exactly is, because like I said, I wasn't familiar with the comic. And I just hope I hope we get a happy ending that's kind of like a good bookend with this season premiere. And that's my hope.
Lacy, what about you? Any final thoughts?
Me? Other than my number one concern about whether or not Caitlin will be an actual part of this final season, which will be the thing that will ruin it for me if that is what happens. But as an episode, as a start to the season, I thought this was really well done. I thought it was fun. I thought it was funny. I thought it was really had some heartfelt moments. It was a really great example of a lot of the things the show does really well. So I hope it keeps up that level through the season and also allows Caitlin to live her life.
Hopefully with Ronnie.
Well, I mean, that sounds a bit ominous.
I mean, at this point, I would just take her not having her body being held hostage by an alien force of some type, like the bars and the floor.
Breeze. Oh my god! For some reason, I just saw Jenna in my head when I saw. What have I done, Breeze?
Yes, well, I give it 0 stars because no baby Jenna. No, just kidding. I thought it was a really fun episode. It was a strong episode. I hope they keep this up throughout the season. And I hope we never have to hear about time sickness ever again. So.
And not Lati, Tati. Wow, I'm fading. Tati, any final thoughts on the episode?
I mean, I had a great time. 2 thumbs up. Would recommend. 10 out of 10. Yeah, I think I agree with everyone that it's a good start to the season. I like the tone that it sets, and also I feel like thematically it feels like we're going to be hurtling towards a satisfactory conclusion. So yeah, overall, I'm hyped for Red Death. And I'm excited to see West Allen start the rest of their lives. And also for Cecile to get cheated on with Kramer. Even though, I mean, I think that was just a joke that it's not happening. It's obviously happening. So.
Oh, poor Cecile.
It has.
To quote Faye from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I'm 5 by 5 with this episode. I had so much fun again. It feels so much like the earlier seasons. And Grant and Candace is like, again, I rewatched the screeners so many times to the point I felt like they were gonna lock me in. Are you hacking the episode? I'm like, no, I'm just watching my favorite with salad scenes. But yeah, I think Red Death Mystery is on a very good starting path. And I'm very curious about Caitlin or yeah, Blue Death, or as the Shane's would call her maybe. But I think it's like, again, it's bittersweet because it is a final season premiere. But overall, really enjoyed it. But now it's time for listener feedback. Our first listener feedback section of the season. So Lacy, as always, you're on tweets. I'm on Facebook answering comments.
We got so much feedback too.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Please keep that up. Love to see it. All right, I am doing the tweets. Once a certain jerky
Google
billionaire
Doc.
let me read the tweets. Our first tweet is from Aquafan1977, who says, "Wow, what a great start to what's definitely going to be a great final season. Candace Patton is gold. What a fun, creative, and even emotional episode. Dare I say even visually stunning too? Oh, and the name drops were perfection. I can't wait for more. We need more Arrowverse." At BJP211 says, "It was good. I thought that until the end, Iris was a little out of character, but that is understandable once she opened up. And Red Death will be, and do you know if Red Death will be like the comic character Bruce Wayne with Barry's conscience in his head, an alternate Barry, or something else?" Electra WWF says, "Barry wants to be director of CCPD's CSI department, but he's the only CSI there, and he never goes to work." Facts. Those are facts. How many times has Caitlin had an identity crisis? Too many is the answer. I've lost count, Electra says. We got more at West Allen in this up than we've had in the last 2 seasons. More of that, please. At Alexis Wave Rider says, "Love the West Allen of it all. We haven't seen them in this capacity in 4 years. Glad we got to finally see Iris in a bonnet." Comic Book Genius says, "It was pretty good." Renee Grant Petter 1 says, "Such a refreshing, fun start." Run Me My Money Please says, "Loving it. Barry and Iris are so cute." And Miss Mandy H08 says, "Loved it. Iris and her Merlot made me laugh." And when they kept repeating the day and made Chester and Allegra so confused, knowing everything ahead of time.
That was
agree.
funny.
I agree with all of those thoughts.
So we're gonna jump to some Facebook and Instagram comments. From John Patrick Van Pelt, who I know is in the chat. Good to see you, John.
Yay!
I found it interesting, but I did find it a little annoying in the episode where they kept on repeating itself over and over, even though the real Groundhog Day is always on February 2nd. Overall, I enjoyed. And one quick question: I overheard Iris Company was bought out by Catco. So my question to you guys at the Five Point: you think we might get a cameo appearance by Calista Flockhart playing Cat Grant? Well, the idea got shut down of selling it to Catco, but I know that in any reality, Craig Byrne would have been running to Eric Walls and begged him to put Calista Flockhart in this episode, because that's one of Craig's favorite characters in the Arrowverse.
I would join you in the begging.
I think the fact we even got her in the Supergirl finale was, the most we're gonna get.
Chop, Kira. Now going to Instagram at ChammyBoy69 says, "Ayo, that Red Death ending was fire though." At Bloody Heroes and Legends, love that. Happy West Island, always great. Heart eye emoji. And after the Dark Ruin said season 8, I really needed this episode. I hear you on that. At Arrow_OTA_Elicity says, overall. No, that's the handle. Overall, good episode. Groundhog Day trope always works for me. Directing was great. The episode highlighted why Iris is my favorite and why I don't like Barry. Damn. Didn't they get rid of Cecile's empath power? That was my head snake. That was my head snapes back with frustration when I heard an annoying sound effect before she tells everyone in the room what we were seeing. Then I mentioned Iris was great in this episode. Nice tease at the end.
I'm pretty sure that meant snap back. I was like, why did your head become Snape's back? Anyway.
At Dave Good 05, it was an amazing episode seeing Allegra and Chester there finally showing their true feeling, which I'm hoping was early in the series, but it's fine, lol. At the West Allen _ my home says, I like the West Allen of it all, but Chester and Allegra feels so forced. Like they gave them a 115 ripoff kiss. She means the kiss from episode 15 of season 1. And I'm starting to worry this might be their MO this season. Copy ship moments for them every time they give West Allen anything. ... I mean, West Allen is the gold standard. So I don't think
others strive for that perfection.
Yeah, exactly, including all and Felicity. And Michael Lewis 6 says, thought it was an amazing start to the final season that left me wanting more. As Iris Central said, loved that. Loved the tone, all the West Allen, everything about them in that episode. Red Death at the end there, just loved that. Aww. There was some, when I read West Allen _ my home's Instagram comment, I remember there was something I was going to show that she sent to me. And it was, so this, we were talking, because she was DMing me a little bit, and we were talking about Frost's hair, and she sent me this from one of her friends at the Girl Who Writes, Nora, on Twitter. Imagine this, what everyone thought a lot of what her hair was going to look like coming out. And
a million times better.
It is so a million times better. What is this blue? What is this blue?
I don't know. It looks good, actually.
TARDIS blue?
Ooh.
Love it. Love it.
And she comes out and goes, Geronimo! Could you imagine?
Alonzi?
Oh my god, Lacy, Caitlin can be the new companion.
Caitlin in the TARDIS is what she deserves after all these years of not even getting to control her own body.
Damn.
But thank you to Girl Who Writes on Twitter and British and Girl as well for sending this to me. Because we were talking about the hair, and then when I saw it, I'm like, this is so much better. Can I please use it on the podcast? So, but those are all Facebook, Instagram comments. So now the Britiana are back with emails. So go for it, ladies.
Wow, that's a name for us. I'm going to say you can do the first 2, and I'll do the last 3.
Got it. All right. Tal Hirsch, I think a first-time writer. I don't recognize that name. Right. Super excited to be part of the live watch and live reaction crew. Just binged the whole series in the last few months to catch up. And honestly, it's still emotional to know it's coming to an end. Knowing that they filmed this episode in so little time makes a lot of sense, that there wasn't a ton of action. But honestly, it seems like they're trying to redeem Iris, and I'm all for it. Hoping it raises in intensity, and I'm very glad to see that the new Frost/Caitlin character seems to not be bad. Looking to see them stick to very minimal stories/villains. So excited. Hope I get to keep in the loop on the podcast. We hope you do too. They said thanks for this. And then Libby, who I don't know if she's still in the chat, but is so hi, writes in, hey friends, it has been way too long, but I'm so glad to have the show back, even if it's just for 13 episodes. I will miss writing to you when the show ends, because sharing this experience with you is really the best part. Oh, thank you. Now to the episode. Of course, I'm over the moon with how many West Allen scenes we got. I think there were more Barry and Iris scenes than the last 2 to 3 seasons combined. A time loop will do that. I appreciated all the domestic moments, the comedy, heart-to-hearts, and the team-up at the end. I will say, though, that the whole conflict was very contrived. Of course, Iris doesn't want to live her life knowing what will happen, and Barry said the very same thing to Iris when he met adult Nora, that he wanted as normal a life as possible with Iris. So for him to spoil his own future and not see why Iris would feel uncomfortable just made very little sense. No need for Joe's pep talk to figure that out. But at the end of the day, it was a fun West Allen rom-com that I sure will be watching over and over again. I hope it's only the beginning of all the West Allen moments to come, because one episode doesn't make up for years of missed opportunities. A few side notes. How big is their bedroom? I think I saw Barry walk behind the bed, which was weird. How does it take Iris and Sue less than one day to buy a newspaper? great question. They must have been in very dire financial straits. Why is Allegra seemingly in 2 places at once? Does she do a half day at CCC Media and then go to Star Labs? She was running the place in Iris's absence, so isn't she busy enough? She doesn't even need to be at Star Labs. She was just there so she can kiss Chester at the end. And no offense, but their kissing scene was kind of uncomfortable to watch. Lastly, I'm worried about how they are writing off Joe. He has taken a back seat for a while now, likely on Jesse's request, but it hasn't been written well. Instead of having him retire from the force, he should have run for mayor, like the future newspaper, and then just be busy off camera. We didn't even get to see him be captain for that long. It doesn't make sense he would move away from his family, especially when Iris's pregnancy is announced. I really want this season to honor the characters we have loved from the beginning, Barry, Iris, Joe, and even Caitlin, and make every... Hey, they included her, and make every episode count. I look forward to taking this final ride with you and hope to be pleasantly surprised each week. Yours truly, Libby.
Hey, at least they didn't say that Caitlin is getting redeemed as if she needed it.
Yeah, right.
I think that was a different email.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Anyway.
I hope they meant like they're giving her a better storyline, not
I think that's
redeeming her as a character.
So we have Maya or Mia. I don't know how you say your name, but it's beautiful either way. I thought it was a nice episode, but I just wish Barry didn't have to continue learning the same lessons. Why, when it comes to how Iris feels, does Barry always assume she just doesn't want to have the nice things he imagined? Why, when she expresses her worst nightmare, is it overlooked? I just wish that instead of Barry running, he could express his fears to her so that she can explain exactly what Joe did. It shouldn't take other people for him to get where she is coming from. I agree with you, but then how would we get to Joe's house and see that Jenna is not there? We would think she was there if we didn't get that scene. So that's why it was necessary. See, it's what you don't
Jenna
see.
is the Red Death.
Exactly. Oh my God. I think you solved it. Oh wow!
From the future,
it's like a whole like River Song.
Wasn't
situation.
that our theory
River
at one
Song.
point? Our joke theory?
no, joke
Yes.
theories. Like, there's no way in the hell we would have ever honestly believed that.
What if Ryan
Laura...
Wilder is actually Jenna? What if her mom is just a whole elaborate ruse that wasn't even her mom?
Wait, and that's why she
you mean that
Barry, because
you're saying that
So
Jenna
crazy.
just happens to look like Ryan Wilder 20 years from now.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
And Laura Lance's mom is actually River Song.
Oh my. That's what she is. That's
true.
just accurate. That's just true. So
Yeah.
It's fact.
Can we just admit
and that was a hint. That was an Easter egg for the future.
can we just admit that River Song got a rough end of the deal?
I mean, sure. That's not a lie. Oh my God.
It
Void
keeps coming
Allison
back
is
to audio
speaking to
adventures and
us.
stuff.
Wait. Tolly, say that name one more time.
Void Allison? Tell us, Allison, what do you have to share with us today?
So you did watch the movie because you hadn't at the time of the interview because I listened to that.
I still haven't seen the movie, but I know what a void person is from Teen Wolf. So anyway, this episode was everything. I adored the comedy this episode, and the time loop aspect made things so much fun. I really wish the episode could have been longer. Yes, me too. In all seriousness, it was very refreshing to see Grant and Candace having fun together on screen again. I miss the sight of West Allen so much. Domestic West Allen is one of my favorite things ever. The way Barry was kissing her shoulder in bed and holding her face, so good. So true. So true. Other than West Allen,
So
I feel
hot.
I feel like the camera shots and angles really stepped up prior to previous seasons, which I loved as well. Yeah, I think people were saying it felt more cinematic. It felt like The Flash, but not at the same time. I really personally am a sucker for cinematic shots. Oh, you said it too. All in all, a great last premiere to have. I will certainly be rewatching this one for years to come, and it easily became my new favorite comfort episode, hoping the rest of the season can follow in its footprints. And that was a Star West on Twitter. Lovely to hear from you. Anita says, hi all. Hi, Anita. What a ride it's been for these last 9 years. Wednesday Ever After was loaded with all the right things that make the Flash go. Barry and Iris being at the top of the list. This episode had the same vigor and fun feel of the season 5 premiere when we met Nora and saw the dynamics of the West Allen family start to take shape. The story, pacing, and effects were all there, and it occurred to me that after 58 time loop cycles, Barry and Iris essentially had 2 months to think through a host of issues. Oh, so true. Including the future of CCC Media, and the and realize that they have no business trying to tackle big problems separately. Thanks for bringing us along for the ride and for taking some of the edge off during the low points. Expectations have been tempered, but Wednesday Ever After was a good day. Aw, have a great season of recaps. Thank you, Anita.
Call them toddy cabs. We're gonna do some quick. We're gonna go through the chat very quickly before we wrap up. But the season premiere is always a little longer. Fango 2019 says that would have been the ideal storyline. I hate this split personality persona thing because it contradicts everything that happened in season 3, talking about the Frost Caitlyn storyline.
That is facts.
They used Electra. They used to sell those color clip-in earrings at the dollar store.
And that's because Zen Frost is frugal. Zen Frost is not materialistic.
Craig, bring out the blue cord again. Let's see. Well, we can talk about this. Daryl Washington says, apparently we lost out on Legends episodes because the episode number got cut. I don't think that's exactly what Eric meant. I think he was hoping that there would be 20 episodes for this season, and that way we could have worked in like a 2-parter or something to wrap up the Legends arc. But as I've said before many, many times on this podcast, and Legends fans, even though I don't know what you have against me these days, because I'm on your side, I would have loved a Legends season 8. But it's not Flash's responsibility to wrap up the show. If you have an issue with that, take it up with your showrunner of that show. That's all I'm going to say.
Also, Booster Gold in the movies. Booster Gold in the movies. So at least there's
Craig, what are you going to say?
Also, who says that the Legends people would even be available to appear if they were able to?
Yeah, it's 8 series regulars they would have to book for that. You know how difficult it is getting at least one series regular from another show? 8 alone?
It'd be expensive too.
Electric goes.
Well, at least they're saving the Jesse L. Martin money now.
There you go. Caleb becomes a new Mr. Freeze.
Oh no.
That's Mrs. Freeze.
Mrs. Freeze, yeah.
Madam Freeze.
Lazy.
No,
have
you
Madam Freeze sounds kind of amazing though.
Lazy, have you seen Batman and Robin?
Yes.
Could you imagine if Caitlyn started the new Caitlyn, Zen Frost starts making all the ice puns? Cool party. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
No, let's just point out that Mr. Freeze's wife is one of the 9 Noras in the Arrowverse.
So many Noras. Let's see what else do we have. Didn't we have a Death Caitlyn in season 8 with Death Story? Well, that was Hellfrost. So many Frost.
Frost.
Shane's React said, so when is their wedding about Joe and Cecile? Is that the final scene of the finale? Shane, do not joke about that. They can get married off screen.
No, Joe and Cecile are going to get married, and then Oliver and Felicity are going to show up and we want to get married too, and they'll ruin that.
You know what? This is so funny. It's because now Lacy can come to me and complain later on, and be like, Annie always attacks me for being a Felicity fan. I'm like, I didn't even say anything in this episode. Craig did.
Look, I mean, I don't know why people think that Felicity fans like that wedding situation happened either.
They should have had their own wedding on their own show.
Exactly.
Lacy's out of breath. This is how tilted she is about this.
I have to stand and defend so many people.
How do we know that you're standing? Your camera's not even on.
That's true. It's not. I'm reclining on my bed with a heating pad on my back because I'm an old lady.
You're not. Stop it. I'm old.
True.
Oh my God, Liv was laughing at Toddy's head. Nobody moved. Let's see what else.
Well, someone said that I speak in double speed, and I had to say, I actually watch things in double speed. So
I listen to all podcasts in double speed. I cannot stand.
Toddy, that
explains
so much. Truly, that explains so much.
You're like, because I just am missing large chunks of information.
Well, no, because you watch so many things. And I was like, how?
Yes.
You only does it on one monitor. I have 2 monitors, and I don't even watch half as much as she's watching.
Are you suggesting you would watch 2 different things on 2 monitors? Even I don't do that.
That would be impressive.
Actually, my roommate will be watching a YouTube video while the TV is on. And I'm like, why? Why are you doing both things at the same time? So
Liv goes, no, but for real, Barry is so dramatic, LMAO. Harry said, I want free will, and Barry heard, I don't want a future with you no more. Like, sir, what, LMAO?
yes, she's like, I want to be able to choose. And he was like, so you're suggesting there's a possibility you wouldn't choose me? This is why I removed choice from you, obviously.
Oh my god. Like it's like Tatiana speaks in 2x speed. Let's see. Daryl agrees with me. Definitely defines his responsibility. Phil Clemmer and Keto Cheat moves would gamble on another season, and we lost. Keto admitted it on Twitter, so like we're not putting words in her mouth. She's the one who was pushing in that work. Libby says, "I want Carlos Valdes. All I want." That's what I've been telling Santa every year. Oh, you mean Carlos on the show? I was talking about wanting Carlos. I mean here. By the end of Legends barely had any DC characters. I don't miss it so much. It says Mind the Gap. Daryl goes, who's Eddie talking to? What Legends fan? There's some Legends fans that are now convinced that I am on an agenda.
And he's always fighting Invisible Legends fans. Let's just
stop it, Toddy. Oh, Libby wants to ask it because it's from our interview. How do you feel about the writers only now rewatching old seasons?
That's not what they meant. That they can never rewatch.
I don't think that's what they meant because I think they've been rewatching old seasons before. So, but I think normally, because I think even like Craig, maybe you can correct me on this. Like when they were doing this final season of Smallville, I'm pretty sure Brian and Kelly, the showrunners of Smallville, the ones that were still there,
they were there since season 2.
It was in season 2, yeah. So I'm sure when they were doing the 200th episode, which is an amazing episode, and doing other things with season 10, they were probably going back to the first season. It's normal.
But the people who work on these shows all the times do sometimes forget things. Kind of like the thing about Joe and Cecile not being married. Like I remember asking about one of the Smallville writers, who I won't name, about the episode Bride, and I was like, "Will Gabe Sullivan be walking Chloe down the aisle?" And he's like, "Isn't Gabe dead?" And I'm like, "No." Like your father. And he wasn't even in the episode.
Which one was Bride?
The one where she married Doomsday ruined her wedding to Jimmy.
Oh, her who we don't talk about anymore. Okay.
Yeah, but still, it's like that happens. People forget things between seasons, or like even the 200th episode, Homecoming, they brought back Bug Boy. Bug Boy actually, number one, Clark never really did help him. He turned him into a pile of bugs. And number two, he died in one of the comic books. It would have made more sense if it had been the bad guy from the first episode, Jeremy Creek, who Clark did indeed help. But I'm going on a tangent, and this is not a Smallville podcast, so
well, if the animated show ever happens, I'm sure we will launch one on the whatever's left of these podcasts that work. And me and Craig, we can talk about Smallville for hours. But I don't think, Toddy, and I guess this is for us, were we thrown off by Eric saying that they're now rewatching the older season? I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's actually good they're doing it now.
I think it's good that they're doing it now, but I think what I understand from Libby's question, or at least what I am agreeing with, is that I do feel like it would have been nice to see them pulling more things from those early seasons in order to feel that growth and that continuity in previous seasons as it went on incrementally. Instead of being like, it's the final season, now we've got to go back and close that loop and make it full circle. That's what...
Where's Julian Albert?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Tom,
that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Oh God, I just triggered Andy. I'm gonna get kicked off.
No, it's fine. Levy says, I feel like they rebooted the universe so they had an excuse for a continuity. I mean, that's literally the point of Crisis.
And that's bad.
That was literally the point of Crisis in the comics, even. They want.
I know, and that was bad in the comics too.
Wait, I thought people liked Crisis in the comics.
A lot of fans didn't because they missed the multiple Earths. And every time DC does a Crisis, they think they're making everything simpler, but they actually make it more confusing.
Oh, they just bully me even more by killing a Flash, or most likely Barry, because.
Well, it's because Wally is the best Flash in the comics, so
Wally's the best player.
His nerves.
You Wally simp. But guys, it is running late, but we see the comment. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Listen, we're gonna be live every week on this YouTube channel. So please, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to us, like this video if you enjoyed this episode, and yeah, we will have plenty of time and fun to talk to you guys live. I'll be probably doing some Instagram lives during the weekend. So, yeah, we will have more fun to come. But for Craig, thank you so much for stopping by and joining us for the season premiere. Where can people find you on social media, and tell them about KSI TV and the KSI TV?
Yeah, I gotta. Kind of like Andy has 8,000 podcasts. I have like 8,000.
No, David Zeller just keeps canceling all our shows. Ask Breeze.
Yeah. So, but you know, like my main website is KSite TV, which is like a general TV site. I have Krypton site for all Superman TV, including Superman and Lois and Smallville, etc. But the one you guys want to check out is Flash TV News, because I post new episode descriptions and photos, and Andy updates the spoilers page and makes sure it's up to date. So, yeah, flashtvnews.com.
And
thanks for
of course, and he also had an interview with Eric Wallace, so you can check out. So it also, if anyone here is a Dark Shadows fan, Craig got you some tea on Dark Shadows and Eric Wallace.
Posted it, yeah.
Oh, well, he will. Stay tuned.
No, because I'll just explain it for those who are listening. Eric Wallace, before he did The Flash, actually wrote some audio adventures about Dark Shadows. And so when I interviewed him the other day, I asked him which Dark Shadows character he would borrow to meet Team Flash. And he gave me a really fun answer. So I'll be posting that soon.
I'm sorry. I thought it was out. Sorry.
No, sorry, Andy.
I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry.
You failed the city.
I have failed this. I failed this podcast. Lacy, where can people... There you go. He's hooded up. Lacy, where can people find you on social media and all your other work? Wait, why are you laughing?
The hood.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's late. But I am Lacy MB on Twitter and like 6 new social media sites that I have joined in the past 3 months in case / when Twitter collapses upon itself into the void. And I also co-host a podcast called Televisions, which if you like British TV in addition to your superhero stuff, you should come check us out. I guess I'm supposed to say I'm on the Flash beat at Den of Geek too. So come read all of my things.
Star Trek.
And Star Trek too.
But the new season of Picard is so good.
It's so good. I feel like it's like slight spoiler, but it's not really. This is just the thematic thing. Like I feel like it's the show people wanted the first 2 seasons to be, and now I'm sad that they gave it to us in the 3rd season. And I'm like, but it's ending.
I know.
What? It's already ending?
Well, I mean, their lead actor is like 85 years old.
I was gonna say, there's a reason they filmed 2 and 3 back to back, Andy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as long as there's more of Anson Mount, then
that's the wrong show. That's Strange New Worlds, which is also really, really good.
Maybe we should just do a Star Trek podcast after.
You should, Andy, and you should watch Strange New Worlds.
Lacy, would you be able to do a Star Trek podcast?
I will talk about Anson Mount and Captain Christopher Pike at any time. I stand ready.
It's just weird that Paul Wesley is now the new Kirk.
Yeah, that was one casting I'm not too big on, but anyway.
Breeze Riley. I almost said Cecile this time.
Andy, are you
Lord?
Stay away from the cough medicine, Andy.
That's okay. I'm also like sitting here falling asleep.
It's fine. Where can people find you on social media and your other projects? You
can find me on Twitter at Breeze Riley, Telltale TV. Check out my season finale review of Criminal Minds Evolution. Justice League Dark Podcast, LOL, if that ever happens again, and HBO DC on HBO Max podcast.
Liv. Paul Wesley is Kirk,
Lex Luthor's brother.
But he is Kirk in Strange New Worlds, so that tells you how strange.
He's a strange new Kirk.
I just hate the fact that his casting got spoiled.
I think he's fabulous. Okay, y'all are just haters. It's fine.
I mean, at least he's
only been in 1 episode so far.
Well, and that episode was really, really good.
Yeah.
That episode also was didn't happen. It kind of got erased. So we don't know what his character. We don't know what his version of
Wait, how did it get erased?
Watch the show, Andy.
Yeah, gosh.
Yeah.
The
Wait,
person
did they do
now
time
is
travel?
Captain Pike. It's like he's Chanel, and Captain Kirk Paul Wesley is
Sephora.
Sephora. Yes.
Well, we all need to go to bed, is what
Yeah,
I am
for real.
taking away
Yeah.
from this. We are spiraling. Badly.
And I'm sure Todd is gonna stay up and work on something.
I have been really bad this week about sleeping through the night and then waking up terrified because I have not done work. So yeah.
So by bad you mean you've actually been getting sleep. Is
Yes,
what you
exactly.
mean.
But then it leads to a very stressful day. So I have to.
Well, Toddy, where can we find you on social media and your other projects?
You can find me at Marcella's Ear on Twitter and Instagram. Not that you have any reason to go there, but I will retweet, most likely, unless I forget, my Screen Rant articles and interviews and whatnot. And you could also listen to Ladies with Gumption at DCTV Gumption on Twitter. And every once in a while, once in a blue moon, with an accent, where we do pot a la carte.
Shout out
Thank
to
you.
Valerie Parker.
Yes.
Yay! Woo! We love her. You can find me at Andy Babak on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Vero, YouTube, and Twitch. I'm also
And
host of.
OnlyFans. No, just kidding.
Did you
You think you think anyone would pay to see this ugly mug?
maybe the feet?
Oh no.
All right, we need to
It's
wrap
very
this
dark.
up.
You can find me as a host of Endless Multiverse with Chainsaw Reacts. If he's still in the chat, you can click on his channel and subscribe. We go live every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern. This Friday we will not be live because we're taking the week off, but we will be back next week to talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. And you can also find me at Screen Rant with articles, interviews, and my apparently Legends agenda hating quest that I'm on now, according to some fans. And you'll check my bio for all my other stuff. I did see, Michael, you were asking about the Marvel Report if I still run it. I do still run it, but there might be something coming, a crisis.
When
I
it's
don't know.
time to change, you've got to rearrange who you are into what you're going to be.
That sounds so much like a Doctor Who quote. I'm sorry, but it sounds like something that the
No, it's
Doctor would
actually the
say.
Brady Bunch.
And you gave me crap for not know. Boy, come on.
You don't even know Blossom.
Whoa, whoa! I didn't even know who Baby Yoda was. That was the episode you were on with all of us when Breezy, you made me cry on air. But
Yeah,
because
I don't remember that.
yeah, I
Breezy's going to be
cried.
crying when we finally see baby Jenna.
Tears of joy.
She's
know,
not gonna
right?
be a baby anymore. She's like 5 years old.
5-year-old Jenna.
What do you all people define babies as? Like what? Like till the age 7? But because we've been running so long, check the links down below for all where to find the Flash Podcast at links to social media. Check out the interview with Eric Wallace, and we'll be back next week at the same time, same DC TV channel. I almost said bad channel, to talk about the Flash Season 9. But everyone, thank you so much for the amazing live. Thank you for who tuned in, and for anyone who wants, you can watch this on playback here on YouTube.com/DC Podcast. Craig, once again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Hopefully, we will have you on for one more episode. Live long and prosper.
Yes.
See, I knew that. I knew that.
You 5 points for Andy.
Hello, Lacy. Something. Are you not proud?
I mean, I sort of expected that you would know that. So
And yay.
Lacy doesn't give
Lacy-
credit for bare minimum.
yeah,
Okay,
right.
It's fine. Okay. Well, before we go, while they go off, we'll be for our outro this week. We're playing a special segment from Mike Schmidt, our amazing composer, Mike Schmidt's own rendition of "Final Run," and then we'll be signing off. So, for all of us here on the Flash Podcast, I'm Andy B.
I'm Tatiana.
I'm Breeze.
And I'm Lacy.
I'm Craig.
And we'll see you next time on the Flash Podcast. Bye, guys. Have a good one, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.